Dear friends, in Plum Village, France, where we live and practice, there are hundreds of us living together, monastics and lay people, and we from time to time organize retreats of mindfulness and welcome people from many countries to come and practice with us. Every week we have one day called Lazy Day, and you are supposed to be really lazy on that day. There is no schedule. And you can do anything you like, but the main practice is to be as lazy as possible. It's not easy for beginners to practice laziness, because if you are so used to be doing something, it's very hard to stop doing and to be just lazy. So that lazy day in Plum Village is very peaceful, deep, wonderful day. It's very quiet. Because in order to be truly lazy, you have to respect the environment and allow other people to be lazy as well. The way you walk, the way you cook, the way you sit, the way you do things should inspire laziness. And when we meet each other on our way, we can smile. And the only thing meaningful to ask is, are you lazy enough today? Resting is a very important practice, allowing our body, our mind to rest, to do nothing. This is a very important practice. We know that there is tension, stress, pain in our body. There is also painful feelings, painful emotions, worries, fear, anger in us. And in order to be happy, to make people around us happy, we have to address these problems. We should learn how to come home to our body, to take care of our body, to release the tension, the stress, the pain in our body. We should be able to come home to us and recognize the pain, the sorrow, the fear, the anger in us in order to take care of them. And when we have enough peace, relaxation, and joy in us, we can help people around us to do the same, to have the time to take care of ourselves, to have the time to take care of our beloved ones. It's very important. And that should be done with love. To love means to be there. How can you love if you are not there? If you are so busy, if you are so preoccupied with your worries, your projects. So the meaning of love is to be there for your beloved one. You are there for yourself, because you should be the object of your love. In the Buddhist teaching, we have found out that self-love, loving oneself, is the foundation for loving another person. if you are not able to love yourself, to come home to yourself and take care of yourself, and then how can you take care and you love someone else? It's very simple, easy to understand, and yet we have to learn to train ourselves to do it. I know a successful business leader in Germany. His name is Frederick. Talented businessman, very successful. In the beginning, the couple had a lot of joy. His partner, his wife, Claudia, was supporting him. She enjoyed organizing meetings, dinners, and she supported him wholeheartedly. They worked together and they shared everything. But the work is very demanding. He had to spend all his time doing the work. So slowly he get stress, worries, fear, and she could not follow him anymore. She suffered. She always pleaded with him to arrange so that they could have time together to take care of themselves and to take care of their son. But it was impossible. He wanted success. He believed that his work is extremely important. He could not afford to have time, even for himself, for his wife, and for their child. Darling, I need a few more years. Allow me time to arrange. A few more years I will arrange so that I will have more time for you and for our child. So she tried to survive by going to school and learn and get another degree. She tried to survive by doing social work and so on. But she could not cover up her loneliness, her suffering. When their son Philip had to go to the hospital for a surgery, he could not come. So she spent the whole night with her son. Frederick could not come even in these important moments. And when she had to go to the hospital for the surgery, he could not come either. He was so caught in his business, his work. He believed that in a number of years he will be able to liberate himself so that he will have the time for him, for her, and for their child. But at the age of 40, he was killed by a car accident. Before that, he said that nobody can replace me now, darling. I have to do it. Nobody can replace me now. So allow me to arrange. After he was killed in the car accident, they replaced him in just 2 days. And what he promised to his wife, to his child, he could never realize, to have the time for them, to take care of them. As I have said, life has no meaning without love. And to love means to be there for the one you loved. How can you love if you are not there? And the greatest gift you can make to your beloved one is your presence. In the practice of meditation, help us to be truly there in the here and the now. When you practice mindful breathing, mindful walking, you bring your mind back to your body. Because in your daily life, it is very often that your body is there, but your mind is elsewhere. Your mind might be caught in the past. You might have regret, sorrow concerning the past. You are locked into the prison of the past. You are not capable of living the present moment for you and for your beloved one. Or your mind can be caught in the fear, in the uncertainty concerning the future. We are always making projects. We are always thinking of the future. The future becomes a prison, and you have no time to live in the present moment, to take care of yourself and your beloved one. So mindful breathing is to breathe in mindfully and to pay attention to your in-breath. And during the time of breathing in, all your attention is focused on your in-breath. And you release the past, you release the future, you release your projects, your worries, and you bring your mind back to the present moment. And suddenly, mind is home with body, and you are established in the present moment. And in the present moment, you can touch life and all the wonders of life, including yourself and your beloved one. So the first act of meditation is to pay attention to your in-breath and breathe in mindfully. And by doing so, in a few seconds, you bring your mind back to your body. And there you are, fully present in the here and the now. Are fully alive. You are alive only when your mind is with your body. And when you are one with your body, you are fully present, you are fully alive, and you are in touch, you can be in touch with life and all the wonders of life that are in you and around you. When you practice walking meditation, you do the same. You breathe in and you make 1 or 2 steps. And every step brings you home to the here and the now. You arrive at every step because you are inhabited by the energy of mindfulness and concentration. You are free from the regret concerning the past and the fear and worries concerning the future. You are free. That is why you can enjoy every step. Every step is nourishing. Every step is healing. We organize one time a retreat for congressmen in Washington, D.C. And now in Capitol Hill, there are congressmen who know how to enjoy walking meditation. And one of them wrote to me, "Thầy, I always keep my practice of walking meditation alone. From the office where I work, Every time I have to go to the place where I cast my vote, I always apply the techniques of walking meditation. I stop all thinking. I just focus my attention on my in breath, on my out breath, and I enjoy every step. It's very wonderful to stop thinking and to be yourself, to touch life in the here and the now. And thanks to that, his hero, I can survive the hectic life of a politician. That person, while waiting for his flight at the airport, also practice mindful walking at the airport and enjoy every step, instead of sitting there and worry about what to do next and so on. So meditation is something all of us can do, and no matter where we are and in whatever moment we find ourselves in. Sitting meditation is to sit in such a way that you feel alive while you sit. The Buddha is depicted as sitting on a lotus flower. That means that he sits, but he feels light, he feels free, he feels happy. Many of us cannot sit on a lotus flower. We seem to sit on a heap of burning charcoal. We cannot sit peacefully, quietly, because we have so many worries, so many things to think about. We cannot sit peacefully. So it's very important to learn how to enjoy sitting on a lotus flower, whether you sit on the grass, on a bench, on the bank of a river, and so on. When you brush your teeth, it is possible for you to brush it. We can brush our teeth in such a way that joy, happiness, the present life, the wonders of life are available in that moment. And all these things need a little bit of training in order to be done. When we go home to the present moment, we touch life. The address of life is in the here and the now. We have an appointment with life, which takes place in the present moment. And if we miss the present moment, we miss our appointment with life. So it's very important to do something in order to go home to the present moment, whether that is an in-breath or a step you back. I know a young man of 11 years old. His father is extremely rich. He can afford to buy anything for his son. My son, tomorrow will be your birthday. What do you want? I will buy it for you. The young man felt that he did not need anything. He knew that his father could buy anything for him. But what he needs is a father. His father is extremely busy. He could not have time for his wife and for his boy. And that is difficult. He has a father, but he does not feel that he truly has a father because his father is not available. His father is entirely caught in his business. So after a few moments, he said, Daddy, it's you that I want, not something else. And if that father is a practitioner, he would know how to go back to himself by breathing in, breathing out. He can make a few steps going home to the present moment. He can go to his boy, look into his eyes and say, Darling, you see, I'm here for you. I'm available for you. It takes only 1 minute or less for you to be yourself and offer your true presence to the person you love. In Plum Village, we offer our friends the practice of 4 mantras. A mantra is something you pronounce and it has an effect right away. And the first mantra is, Darling, I'm here for you. You offer your true presence, your pleasant, your fresh presence to the person you love. And in order to be there, well, the practice of mindful breathing to bring the mind back to the body is needed. Or you might like to make a few steps and arrive in the here and the now. And suddenly you are there. And this is the most precious gift you can make to your beloved one. And you don't need 5 years of training in order to do so. You can do it today, tonight. Begin to breathe mindfully, bringing the mind back to the body. And if after a few seconds you feel truly alive, fully present, and then you go to your beloved one and say, and pronounce the first mantra, Darling, I'm here for you. It's easy. You don't have to say it in Sanskrit. And even you can use your portable in order to practice the mantra. Your beloved one may not be there. He is in the office, or maybe she is at the airport, but you can call him. You say, Darling, I'm here for you. And you are really there for him or for her. It's easy to practice. So I repeat that the most precious thing we can offer to our beloved one is our presence. And we can make that presence to be of a high quality. We can be fresh, we can be loving, we can be smiling. And that is the best gift we can make to our child, our partner, our spouse, our father, our mother. The second mantra is equally easy. When you are fully present, when you are there, you are in a position to recognize his presence or her presence, the presence of your beloved one. You know that her presence, his presence is so precious to you. Imagine she's no longer there. He is no longer there for you. You will cry. You will suffer. So when you are fully present, you can recognize her presence, his presence, because that presence is so precious for you. So you go to her, you go to him, and looking into his eyes, you pronounce the second mantra, Darling, I know you are there, alive, and I am so happy. To be loved means to be recognized as existing. When you practice the second mantra, darling, I know you are there and I am so happy. You are fully aware of her presence, of his presence, as something very precious to you. So it is with the energy of mindfulness, the energy of awareness, that you embrace your beloved one. You recognize him or her as present, as precious. And when a person is embraced by that attention, by that awareness, he can bloom like a flower. And the second mantra, always know that it's not so difficult to practice. We don't need many months or years to train ourselves. We can just do it today. And we can use our computer to send an email, because the mantra can take form of an email, or we can use our mobile telephone. Darling, I know you are there. I am so happy. And we know that even if we have so many things to do, these practices can still be done daily and several times. That is very nourishing, very healing to us and to our beloved ones. Our business, our cooperation is important, of course, because we can maintain many people alive. We can support so many people. We can offer jobs, opportunities to so many people. Our cooperation is like a banyan tree with a trunk in the middle, deeply rooted in the soil, and so many branches and leaves above. We can nourish so many branches and so many leaves. And we know that every branch, every leaf is trying to get enough space, enough air, enough sunshine. And that is why the trunk has to get rooted deeply into the soil in order to get enough nourishment for the whole banyan tree. And you are the trunk. You are supporting so many people. The trunk is supporting and nourishing so many branches and so many leaves. And every branch, every leaf needs space, time, sunshine, air, oxygen, and so on. And the roots, they are getting the water, the minerals, the nutrition up to provide the whole tree, the whole banyan tree to be alive. And we know that not only the roots nourish the branches and the leaves, but the leaves also nourish the whole tree. Every leaf is a lab. Every leaf practice absorbing the sunshine and the gas, and help elaborate the sap that is brought up by the roots, and elaborate that sap into a kind of liquid that the leaf can send and nourish the whole tree. So not only the tree, the trunk and the roots are nourishing the tree, but all the leaf and all the leaves and the branch contribute to nourish the tree. So we need each other. We are the director. Everyone needs the director of the corporation. But the director also needs every employees, every member of the corporate community. And that is why we should touch the nature, the truth of interbeing. If there is no well-being in the branch, in the leaf, there will be no well-being in the trunk and in the roots. We help taking care of ourselves, and we help taking care of any other members of the corporate community. And in order to do that, we need the time. We need the time to practice the two mantras. We have to inquire about the state of being of every member of our community. That is about the third mantra. I think the third mantra is still easy to practice. The third mantra, you need it every time you notice that there is something that goes wrong with your beloved one. Because you are mindful, because you are truly present. That is why it's so easy for you to notice that something goes wrong with him or with her. She suffers, he suffers. And with that awareness you go to him, you go to her, and you pronounce the third mantra. Darling, I know you suffer. That is why I'm here for you. When you suffer, and your beloved one does not know it, you suffer more. So it's very important that the other person that we trust, that we love, is aware that we suffer, we are having difficulties, and that he or she offer his presence for us. If you practice the third mantra, darling, I know you suffer, that is why I'm here for you with my true presence. Even before you can do something to help her to suffer less, she suffers less already, because she knows that you are there for her. You are there for him. The third mantra also can have an effect right away. A mantra is a magic formula that can produce miracle. And a mantra is a mantra only when you pronounce it with mindfulness and concentration. Otherwise, it's not a mantra. So there are two kinds of energies that you must use in order for a mantra to be a real mantra: mindfulness and concentration. Mindfulness is the capacity to be there. Mindfulness is the energy that helps us to be fully there, fully present. In fact, mindfulness, smrti, samasmrti, is the capacity to be aware of what is going on in the present moment. That is my easy definition of mindfulness. The energy that allows you to be aware of what is going on. Going on where? Going on in your body, in your feelings, in your emotions, in your perceptions, in the body, in the feeling, in the perceptions of your beloved one, in your surrounding, in your workplace, in your corporation. Sometimes you are not aware of what is going on, and you cannot succeed in leading your corporation if you don't have enough mindfulness. Mindfulness is the energy that allows you to be aware of what is going on. When I breathe in with mindfulness, I'm aware of the fact that I'm breathing in. And that is called mindfulness of breathing. When I walk with mindfulness, when I am aware of every step I make and enjoy every step I make, that is called mindfulness of walking. When you brush your teeth and you know that you are brushing your teeth, you are truly with that moment, mindfulness of tooth brushing. So we can do everything in our daily life with mindfulness, whether eating or drinking. It is possible to eat our breakfast in mindfulness. You eat your breakfast in such a way that you are truly there for your breakfast and for members of your family that are having breakfast with you. And breakfast can be a very happy moment. Eating breakfast like that is to practice meditation, to allow love to inhabit you, to allow love to embrace your beloved ones. Instead of holding the One-Sit journal in order to see the values of the stocks, when you hold a newspaper like this, you want to hide away your beloved one. So it's not good to hold a newspaper during breakfast time. Put it down so that your beloved one can be revealed to you. He is alive, she is alive. That's a treasure. You have to smile at her. You have to recognize her presence as something very precious. Television also is an obstacle. Don't let television to hide away your beloved one during the time of lunch or dinner or breakfast. Turn off the television. Put down the newspaper. Look at your beloved one. Smile. Practice the first mantra, the second mantra, and happiness can be there already. In fact, in the Buddhist tradition, we have the teaching of living happily in the present moment, the drista dharma sukha vihara. It is possible to live happily in the present moment. And this is a teaching of the Buddha that many of us ignore. When we go home to the present moment, we recognize that there are so many conditions of happiness that are already there. And you can be happy right away. The French have a song with the title Qu'est-ce qu'on attend pour être heureux? What do you wait in order to be happy? You can be happy right now. But many of us in this society believe that happiness is not possible here and now. We need to go to the future and get a few more conditions of happiness. And the vast majority of us in the society believes so. Happiness is not possible now. We have to go into the future in order to get more conditions. And thinking like that, believing like that, we sacrifice the present moment for the sake of the future. We are sucked into the future. We have no capacity of living in the present moment. And life is available only in the present moment. All the wonders of life can be found only in the present moment. The kingdom of God, the Pure Land of the Buddha, enlightenment, Buddhahood, everything you are looking for, they are there in the present moment. The kingdom of God is not something abstract. It's not something that belongs to the future. The blue sky belongs to the kingdom of God. The beautiful mountains, rivers belong to the kingdom of God. The beautiful hills and trees, the songs of the birds, the lovely face of your child, all of that belong to the kingdom of God. And you yourself, your body, your mind, are wonders. They belong to the kingdom of God. To me, the kingdom of God is available. And the kingdom of God is the source of happiness. The French writer André Gide said that God is happiness. And God is available 24 hours a day. And from that we can say that the kingdom is also available 24 hours a day. The kingdom is available. But are we available to the kingdom? If we are not in the present moment, if we are locked in the past or in the future, we are not free. We are not available to the kingdom. According to this teaching and practice, in order to make yourself available to the kingdom, you need only to go back to your breath and breathe in mindfully. And suddenly your mind is home to your body. You are fully established in the here and the now. And the kingdom is available to you. You are available to the kingdom. In the Christian gospel, there is that story, the story of a farmer who discovered a treasure in a piece of land. And he went home and gave away all the other piece of land. He only wanted to keep that piece of land with the treasure. So the kingdom of God is that treasure. And if we know how to go home to the here and the now, we find the kingdom. We find that there are so many conditions of happiness that are already available, and you don't need to run into the future in order to be happy. Many of us in society believe that happiness can only be found when you have a lot of money, a lot of success, a lot of fame, a lot of power. And most of us are running after object of that desire. And because of that, we sacrifice the kingdom, we sacrifice life, we sacrifice the present moment where life is available. I do not want to say that we should oppose money and fame and power. If you are a free person, and then money, fame and power can help you to do a good things for society. We should be free in order to make good use of all these things. A rich person, a powerful person can be happy, can be very happy, if that person is really free from the craving, from the worries, from the fear. So the Buddha had many disciples who are in the political and business circles. Like Anathapindika, he's a businessman, talented businessman. He was a very good disciple of the Buddha. He took a great pleasure practicing the teaching of the Buddha. And his family is a happy family. And he was very successful in his business. His heart is very generous. He helped the people in his city, in his country. He supported the poor people, the homeless people, orphans, and others who suffer. And that is why the people in his city gave him that lovely name, Anattapinika. Anattapinika means the one who helped the lonely, isolated, poor people. His name is Sudatta. His real name is Sudatta. And he had so many good friends supporting him and loving him. There were times when he suffered bankruptcy. He lost everything in his business, but he did not suffer at all. Because he got so many friends who come and help him to recreate, to restore his business. So, doing business, he can practice love, charity, love, brotherhood, and sisterhood. And the happiness of Anattapinika lies in his practice. I believe that the success of a business leader lies in the fact that he or she knows how to go home to himself or to herself to take care of himself or herself. In his body, in his feelings, in his emotion, there are things to recognize, to embrace, to transform, to nourish, to release. And we should have the time in order to go home to ourselves and take care of our body and our suffering. And then we can go to our beloved one, the one who we trust the most in our life, we love the most, and help him or her to do the same. And when we are nourished by that kind of relationship, well, we will succeed in our work in the corporation. So there are 3 steps: going home to us, to oneself, to ourselves. And the second step is to go to our beloved one and help him or her to do the same. And we have enough strength and conditions in order to succeed in our business, in our corporation. The third mantra can be practiced with everyone in the corporation. If you are a true leader, and then you will have enough time to inquire about the difficulties and the suffering of everyone in your corporation. Because that has to do very much with the success of the corporation, the well-being of everyone in the corporation. And you can transform your corporation into a kind of sangha, a kind of family. And the third mantra can be practiced with everyone in the corporation. If you practice the third mantra, I know that you suffer. Please tell me of your suffering, your difficulties. Maybe we can help. And you practice deep listening, compassionate listening. With that, your corporation become united. You will be supported by all your personals. And we can always arrange so that we have the time in order to take care. And your beloved one now is not only one person and two person, but everyone in the corporation. And you can get a lot of love and happiness doing so. It is possible there are business leaders who are able to do like that. A charity work, serving society, can be done right in the corporation, and not it does not necessarily done outside of corporation. I know that there are many corporations that are taking care of the environment of the poor people, but the priority should be given to members of the corporation. It should be like that. We have to take care of ourselves first. We have to bring understanding, love, harmony, happiness into our corporation first, before we can help with the world outside. So the principle set forth is very simple. We have to go home to ourselves first, our true person, and then our beloved one, and then our corporation. The fourth mantra is a little bit more difficult to practice. But I would like to offer it to you. That is in the case you suffer, and you believe that your suffering has been inflicted to you by your beloved one. It's very difficult. If it were another person who has said that, who has done that to you, you would have suffered less. But in this case, the person who has said that, who has done that to you, is the person you love the most. That is why you suffer very deeply. And you are paralyzed. You cannot go on with your work. You feel betrayed. You feel left out. You feel abandoned. And the fourth mantra is this: darling, I suffer. Please help. It sounds easy, but it's not easy. Because when you get hurt deeply, you believe that he has done that to you. You suffer very deeply. And there is a tendency in you to react, to punish him or her for having made you suffer. And you try to punish him or her for having dared to make you suffer, by proving that you don't need him, you don't need her, you can very well survive within him or her. So you don't want to say, I need you. You want to say the opposite. I don't need you. Alone I can survive. Pride is the name of that feeling, of that the mental formation. You prefer to go to your room, lock your room and cry. And when he comes and inquire about you, darling, are you okay? Do you suffer? And you say that, me suffer? Why do I have to suffer? And if he or she come and try to comfort you, you say, leave me alone. It means I don't need you. I can survive. You have made me suffer so much. So that is our way of punishing our beloved one, to prove that we don't need him, We do not her. We don't need her. We can survive alone very well. That's very human. But that is also the root of many tragedies. There is a story, a true story that everyone in my country know. That was a young couple who lived in the 15th century. He was drafted into the army, and she was pregnant. But he survived the war. He went home, and she learned about it. She went to the gate of the village to welcome him, together with the little boy, born during that time. So they cried because they were so happy to be together again. And the lady was expected to go to the marketplace to do some shopping, to prepare an offering to be placed on the ancestral altar, because the tradition wants it, that you have to report to your ancestor everything that happened in your family. So now the father, the young father, the husband is home. You have to announce that to your ancestors, and you have to place an offering on the altar. So the lady was gone to the market in order to do some shopping, and he was left alone with his son, little boy. And he tried to persuade the little boy to call him daddy. And the little boy refused. No, mister, you are not my daddy. My daddy used to come every night. You know, mister, my mother talked a lot to my dead daddy, and she cried a lot. And every time my mother sit down, he sat down. Every time my mother lie down, he lie down. And when the young father heard that, he lost all his happiness. His heart became a stone. He believed that during his absence, another man has intruded into his family. And from that moment on, he could no longer smile. And when the lady came home, he did not look at her. He did not answer her questions. She suffered very much. The fact is that no one has intruded in his family. One day the little boy came home and said, Mommy, every boy, every girl has a dad, a father. Where is my father? So it's too complicated to speak about the war, the army, and so she pointed to her own shadow on the wall, because there was a kerosene lamp in the house. So her shadow is projected on the wall, and he said, this is your father. Why don't you say, hello, daddy? So the little boy believed that that shadow is the father. And of course, he talked out of loneliness. She talked to her own shadow. Darling, my dear husband, you have been gone too long. How could I alone raise our child? And she cried. And of course, when she sit down, the shadow sit down. And when she lie down, the shadow lie down. But what the little boy told his father has created a wrong perception. And with that wrong perception, a lot of despair, suffering came in. That is why he could not look at his wife. He could not answer his wife. He was paralyzed. He did not know why his wife has done such a thing to him. He preferred to suffer silently than to seek for help. And the young lady also suffered very deeply. She didn't know why. From the time she got back from the marketplace, he did not look at her anymore. He did not answer any of her questions. And after the offering was made and placed on the altar, he burned the incense. He prayed. He touched the earth, prostrations. And then he rolled up the mat and did not allow his wife to pay respect to the ancestors, because he believed that his wife has committed adultery and is not entitled to present herself before the ancestors. So she suffered very much of humiliation. And after that, after the offering, he did not stay home to eat as expected with the family. He left home and go to the liquor, to the bar and try to forget his suffering by drinking, and did not go home until 2 in the morning. And he repeated like that for several days. Finally, the young mother could not bear it. She had to jump into the river and die. And when the young father learned of the death of his wife, he came home and tried to take care of the little boy. And when he lighted the kerosene lamp, suddenly the boy said, "Mister, here is my daddy. You know, my daddy came every night like that, and my mother always talked to my daddy and cried with my daddy. Now the misunderstanding, the wrong perception is no longer there. He has found the truth, but it's too late. They have tried to punish each other." And that is why the fourth mantra is so important. She should have gone to him and seek for help. "My good husband, I suffer very much. I don't know why. From the moment when I go home, you did not look at me anymore. You do not answer my question anymore. You just ignore me. I do not exist. What have I done in order to be deserve such a treatment? Please help. Please explain to me." And that is the fourth mantra. "Darling, I suffer. Please help. Please explain." If she had done that, he would have the chance to explain. "What have you done?" The boy said that someone used to come every night, and you talk to him every night, you cry with him, and so on. And then she would have had a chance to explain. But he didn't. But she did not do that, and he made the same kind of mistake. He did not ask for help. He should have gone to her and said, "My wife, my darling, I suffer very much. I suffer deeply. Why have you done such a thing to me?" The little boy said, "During my absence, someone used to come during the night." And that is the fourth mantra. It's simple. "Darling, I suffer. Please help." Of course, it's more difficult to practice, because if you have pride in yourself, you will not ask for help. And I always want my friends not to commit the same kind of mistake as that young couple. In Plum Village, everyone who come will receive that formula of practice. You write the three sentences on a piece of paper, the size of a credit card, and the first sentence is, "Darling, I suffer. And I know, and I want you to know it. The second sentence is, I am trying my best. The third sentence is, please help me. I will try to explain the content of these simple sentences. The first sentence, darling, I suffer, and I want you to know it. When you suffer and you believe it is your most beloved one has created the suffering, you have the duty to let him know, to let her know, because you have promised that you share with him, with her, all your suffering and happiness. So this is only a continuation. Darling, I suffer, and I know, and I want you to know it. Instead of saying, I don't suffer, why do I have to suffer? I admit that I suffer, and I want you to know it. This is my duty. And that is the practice recommended in Plum Village when you get angry. When you get angry at someone, don't say anything, don't do anything. Because what you say or you do has the purpose of punishing the other person. Because he or she has dared to make you suffer. You are trying to get a relief. You are trying to suffer less by punishing him or her, by saying something or doing something that makes him suffer. So don't do anything. Don't say anything, don't do anything. Just go home to yourself and take good care of your anger. Breathe deeply, practice walking meditation, embrace, recognize your anger, embrace your anger, and get a relief from that. Anger is like is one form of energy. And when you practice mindful breathing, mindful walking, you create the energy of mindfulness, second source of an energy that recognize anger and help embrace anger tenderly. And those of us who know the practice knows very well that if you are able to recognize and embrace your anger tenderly, you get a relief. Anger is still there, but you can bear it, and you suffer less. And if you know the practice, you'll be able to understand the nature of your anger and transform your anger into compassion, understanding. So I'm doing my best means that I'm practicing mindful breathing, mindful walking, recognizing the energy of anger in me and trying to get a relief. I'm not like another person trying to punish, to retaliate. I'm a practitioner. I'm trying to take care of my anger. And that is an indirect invitation for the other person to do the same. When he hear that, when she read that, she will ask the question, what I have done in order to make her suffer like that? So you go back to yourself and reflect and try to find the truth. Imagine both of you are practicing in a time of crisis. That is very beautiful. Both of you do not try to punish each other. Both of you are trying to take care of yourself, to look deeply, to see the roots of the suffering. I am doing my best. It means that I might not succeed. I need you to practice with me. You are the closest person to me on earth. And the third sentence, please help. I need you. That is the language of love. When you get angry, you want to say the opposite. I don't need you. I can survive. And pride stand between you and create an obstacle. So when you are able to bring yourself to say that, or to write that down. Please help. You suffer much less already. So our friends are requested, are invited to write down these sentences on a small piece of paper and slid it in the wallet. And every time when they get angry, they take it out and read and know exactly what they should do and exactly what they should not do. And the formula, the practice has helped so many people, has helped reconcile and bring happiness back. The fourth mantra, more difficult, but every one of us with a little bit of practice, training, are able to do that. If we know how to practice the fourth mantra, we will never suffer the suffering of the young couple, victims of wrong perceptions, because as human beings, we are victims of our wrong perceptions many times a day. And according to the teaching, wrong perceptions are the ground of all kind of fear, anger, hate, and despair. And terrorism is also born from wrong perceptions. And the terrorists suffer. And anger, fear, despair is born in him or in her just because of wrong perceptions. They got the perception from somewhere, maybe from you, from me, and become a terrorist. They want to punish. And in order to help remove terrorism, you have to help remove wrong perceptions. And listening deeply and using loving speech is the only way to help someone to remove his or her wrong perceptions. And wrong perceptions as the foundation of hate and violence and anger cannot be removed by the bombs, by the guns. You cannot bomb wrong perceptions. You have to help remove it. And that is our practice. And with compassion, with understanding, we can help remove wrong perceptions in the heart of a terrorist. There are terrorists who have died. There are terrorists who are about to inflict suffering on other people. And there are terrorists to be. They are getting wrong perceptions. They are victims of wrong perceptions, are becoming terrorists. And you should have the time in order to help present terrorists and future terrorists, because anyone can become a terrorist if he or she become victims of wrong perceptions. And our fear, our anger, our hate, our despair, they are born from wrong perceptions. Our anger is born from wrong perceptions. And we have to help each other remove wrong perceptions. In our relationship, it's very important that you commit to each other to help each other remove wrong perceptions. Don't lock yourself into your suffering. Don't lock yourself into your wrong perceptions. Share it with your beloved one. And your beloved one can help you remove the wrong perceptions. And the fourth mantra is very helpful. If you have one or two questions concerning this, please feel free to ask or to share.
The gentleman there with the beard. Can take a couple of questions, then we'll have a chance later for more.
It was indeed an experience to listen to your talk, sir. You know that 33% of the people in the world.
Could you hold your mic up, please?
33% of the people in the world are Christians, followed by 23% Muslims and 13% Hindus and 8% Buddhists. And if you don't count the atheists, who form 2.5%, next are the Sikhs. My question to you is, I'm just a little puzzled. Do you get happiness, peace, and God by shaving your heads or keeping your hair? What has this to do with achieving God, peace, prosperity?
Can you repeat the question?
Why does the Buddhist monk shave their head?
This is a hairstyle. One of the hairstyle. You don't have to make it into an issue, because I have seen cinema movie star shaving their head. If you like to do it, why don't people don't let you to do it? You are free to do whatever you want. Simple answer.
My name is Rajiv Kumar. I would like to bring to your kind notice that there are so many students who are very intelligent, even after completing their studies, they are not getting employment. There could be so many reasons for that. So when you say your first mantra that be always at home, so they are always at home, they are present. So what they should do for that? Because they are also frustrated, and there is, because I know so many students, they approach me and I try to help them, but even they are intelligent, and maybe they have gone to some bad institute or something, but they couldn't get the employment. So what should be there for them? What is your message for them?
Can you summarize?
There are a lot of educated unemployed, and the questioner's understanding of home means that they're actually in their house. And when Thais speak about going home to themselves, he says that they're already in their house. So what is the advice Thai would give to the unemployed youth who have a lot of time on their hands because they cannot get a job? Yeah, home is the home without a job.
That's not home. That's not true home. Please understand the meaning. Our true home is in the here and the now. Our true home is a place where I feel peaceful, happy. All of us are looking for our true home. When you practice mindful breathing and mindful walking to go back to yourself, to have a chance to reestablish harmony, peace, order within yourself. A human being is made of body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. And if you don't know how to take care of our home, it will be a mess. We will suffer and we make other people suffer. So to go home to the five elements of ourselves, and to rearrange so that peace, harmony, well-being be possible is very important. And without that, we cannot recognize the suffering around us and do something to help. If you are not yourself, how can you help to do anything to help? So when we are really home, we know what is happening. And we know that there are homeless people, jobless people, and we are in a position to do something. But if you are not home, you are still wanderer. You are not yourself. What could you do in order to help with the situation? So it's very important to go home first. To go home to yourself is the prerequisite, the basic action of all.
Thank you. One last question is, since the gentleman has his hand up for a long time.
Good evening. What would be your advice to the large number of corporates who are facing challenging times in form of a global financial crisis, slowing economies? What should they be doing to handle the kind of stress that they're facing? What would be your advice to them?
I think we have spent all our time talking about that.
But in a nutshell.
We have talked only about that during the whole talk, handling the stress in our body, in our feelings, in our perceptions, and helping our family to handle stress, and helping the corporation. So we have been talking only about that, and we can continue. Thank you very much. We shall enjoy a few dozens of minutes of walking together. And I suggest that while we walk such a way that every step will bring us joy and peace and healing. When you breathe in, you may like to say, I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived means I have arrived in the here and the now, where life is available. I let go of the past. I let go of the future. I touch the wonders of life for my nourishment and healing. I have arrived. I have arrived. In the case you make 2 steps while breathing in. And this is not a statement. This is a realization. With every step, you arrive in the here and the now to touch life. And without freedom from the past, from the future, from your projects, you cannot truly arrive in the here and the now. This is a challenge. And if you arrive with 1 step, you know. It's very essential to be arriving. When you arrive, you are free. And no happiness is possible without that kind of freedom. I have arrived. I have arrived. And when you breathe out, I am home. I am home. It means that you don't need to run anymore. Because if you are already home, you can enjoy being there. And if there is that tension, that energy pulling you, you have not arrived yet. You are not home yet. So, unless we invest 100% of our body and mind into that step, we cannot truly arrive and feel at home. This is a challenge. For those of us who have practiced walking meditation for a long time, this is very easy. 1 step is enough for us to arrive and to be home. But for those of us who are beginners, well, you should learn, you should try. And walk as if you print the seal of your arrival on earth. I certify that I have arrived. I certify that I'm home. It should be authentic seal. And if you have truly arrived and feel at home in the here and now, happiness is something you cannot avoid. And every step is healing, every step is nourishing. And if you walk like that, the kingdom of God, the pure land of Buddha, reveal itself to you in a moment. And there is not one day when I do not enjoy walking in the kingdom of God, in the pure land of the Buddha. And I very much wish that all my friends enjoy the same kind of thing. Just try to arrive, to go home, and the kingdom of God and life is yours. You are no longer victims of the future or of the past. I have arrived, I am home. Every step is a miracle. Every step is joy. Every step is nourishment. Every step is healing. Imagine a person lying and waiting for to die. Even if that person wants to sit up, stand up, and make one more step, he cannot. And now we still have solid feet. You can breathe in, breathe out, and you can make steps. That is a miracle, because to be alive and to be walking on this planet is a miracle. It's the greatest of all miracles. And every step is to celebrate the fact that we are alive, still alive. And to know that we are alive, we are walking on this planet Earth is already enlightenment. And that kind of awareness, enlightenment, is the foundation of happiness. And we can learn to live deeply and happily every moment of our daily life. And walking meditation is a wonderful way to learn how to live deeply every moment of our daily life. And we can, if we can succeed in that, and then in our life as a business leader, we can get daily nourishment and healing just by walking from one building to another. And the kingdom of God is always with you if you know how to walk like that. Your mindful breathing, your mindful steppings. The kingdom is where you are. So I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now. That is the address of life. Here and now, the address of kingdom. I am solid. I am free. I am solid because I am not pulled away by the future, by my worries, by the past. I am free. That is why I can enjoy walking. Shall we sing together? I have arrived, I am home, in the here, in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I am solid, I am free, I am solid, I am free, in the ultimate I dwell, in the ultimate I dwell. Once more, please. I have arrived. In the here and in the now, I have arrived. I Thank you.
So, dear friends, we'll just wait till Thai leaves the room, and then we will gather outside this door, outside here, just to go for walking meditation, and we'll have our tea after walking. It seems that Mr. Amar Singh requires the garden after that. So, and they need security. So we will just have a few minutes if anybody wants to go to the toilet, but just gather pretty soon just outside, and we will Thai will lead the walking meditation. And then we'll have a chat.